I am Dr. D.K. Tripathi, Assistant Professor of Physics under the Department of Basic Science and Humanities. We are going to study laser. Laser is an acronym of light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. The theory of laser was given by Einstein far behind in 1917 than its realization in 1960. The first realized laser was developed by Theodore Mammon in 1960, which was ruby laser. Nowadays, the laser becomes the boon for the society. Uses of laser. Laser is used in the medical field. As in the left hand side of the figure in the screen, we can find that the eye is treated with the help of laser light. Cataract, retinal welding, glaucoma, uveitis can be cured using the laser light. So this is a bloodless surgery where no blood is coming out. In the right hand side of the figure, the cancerous skin is treated with the help of laser light. Not only that, laser light can be used to take out the cyst as well as any calculus in the body without any pain as well as without coming out of the blood. Laser is used in the scientific world. As laser is source of monochromatic light, so it is used in Raman spectroscopy as well as in infrared spectroscopy. Laser is used to form the holograms. We know that holograms are symbol of genuinity and they cannot be imitated. So the uppermost picture in the right hand side shows the formation of hologram. The theory of the construction of hologram was given by Gabor in 1948, far behind the realization of laser, but its production started after 1960. Laser is used in the field of communication. Modulated laser beams are used to transmit messages through optical fibers. The lens can be measured using the laser light. Laser is used in weather forecasting, like the pictures of wind movement, cloud, etc. can be obtained using the laser. It can drill the holes. Laser is also used in nuclear fission. Laser is used in the field of defense for guiding the missiles, or satellite laser beam is used to guide the missiles. In the industry, in plastic industry, laser light is used for cutting, welding, or of the laser sheets. If we take a collection of atoms or molecules or ions or particles, we will find that most of the atoms are having the minimum amount of energy with which they can sustain. Some of the atoms or molecules or ions or particles are having energy greater than that. So those molecules, atoms, ions or particles which are having the less amount of energy, they are said to be in the ground state, and those atoms which are having the higher amount of energy, they are said to be in the excited state. So there is possibility of two states, one ground state and other the excited state. Classically, the atoms which are in the ground state are said to have 0 joule energy, and the atoms which are in the excited state, first excited state, they are said to have 1 photon energy. 1 photon energy, as per Planck's quantum theory, it is h nu. So the atoms which are in the ground state are having 0 joule energy, and the atoms which are in excited state, they are said to have the h nu amount of energy. Now those atoms which are in the excited state, they cannot be in the excited state forever. there is a fixed lifetime of the atoms in the excited state, and this is 10 nanosecond, that is 10 to the power minus 8 second. After 10 to the power minus 8 second, the atom will fall back to the ground state, and they will fall back to the ground state, they will release the gap amount of energy, and the gap is one photon energy gap, so they will release one photon energy, that is h nu. This means that when one atom will fall from excited state to the ground state, it will release photon energy, that is one photon. Now as the atom came down naturally without any forcing to the ground state, so and release the energy, so release of energy is called as emission, and the emission process is natural, that is why this process is called as spontaneous emission. So spontaneous emission is falling down of the atom from excited state to the ground state after its completion of lifetime in the excited state. Now what will happen in the excited ground state? The atom which is in the ground state, that can be in the excited state forever, but if energy is supplied to this collection of atoms, molecules, ions or particles, what will happen? Those atoms which are in the ground state, they will absorb the energy from the incoming radiation. Actually, Einstein has learned the interaction of material particle with the wave or light particle. So laser is due to the interaction of material particle and the light particle, that is photon. What will happen? That the atom which is in the ground state, if it will absorb one photon, it will go to the excited state. Why? Because there is only one photon energy gap between the ground state and excited. So the atom which was in the ground state got excited, that is why this process is called as excitation. As the atom reached there by absorbing the energy, that is why this is also called as absorption. This absorption is not natural. What happens? Absorption is induced one. The atoms are absorbing the energy due to the induction or due to the influence of the energy made available to it. If external energy were not made available to the atom will never go to the excited state. So that is why this absorption is also called as induced absorption or induced excitation. Now you have heard about the stimulus. What is stimulus? You learn in the biology in class 9. Stimulus means, there was an example given to you that if you touch the touch me not plant with your fingers, the leaves of the touch me not plant got shrunken. So shrinking of the leaves of the touch me not plant is due to the touching of it. If you have not touched it, it will never shrink. So reflex action is stimulus, and plural of stimulus is stimuli. Here also the atoms got excited because external energy or photons have stimulated the atoms in the ground state to go to the excited state by giving their energy. That is why this type of transition is also called as stimulated absorption or stimulated excitation. Only these two types of transitions were known to us, that those atoms which are in the ground state, they will absorb the incoming radiation and will go to the excited state called as induced absorption or induced excitation, and the atoms which are in the already in the excited state, if they will complete their lifetime, they will come down with liberation of energy. This is called as spontaneous emission. But in 1917, Einstein was the first who have introduced the third type of transition or third type of possibility, that is called as stimulated emission. Einstein told that if the atoms in the ground state can go to the excited state due to the influence of external energy, why not the atoms in the excited state can come down to the ground state with release of energy before completion of their lifetime under the influence of external energy. So Einstein pointed out that if the atom in the excited state, which is having the h nu amount of energy, first excited state, then if it will absorb one more photon, then its energy will become 2h nu. So it cannot be that state with that energy, and as it is a two-level system, ground state and excited state, so atom will come down to the ground state with release of energy, and this release of energy will be 2h nu. That means 2 photons will be liberated. Why? Because one due to the energy gap and other the photon which was absorbed. So we will get 2 photons due to the coming down of one atom in the ground state. This means that the atoms, if the atoms in the excited state interact with the incoming radiation, then they will release higher amount of energy than the atoms which is in the excited state. After completion of its lifetime, it is coming down to the ground state. So as the atom have to complete its lifetime in the excited state, but it interacted with the external energy and came down to the ground state before completion of its lifetime. That is why this type of transition of atom is called as stimulated emission or induced emission, as it is induced by the external energy. These are some of the references which you must pursue to know more about the topics. Thank you.